You know what? I got so carried away in the last clip, I forgot to mark the action item off as complete in our plan. So, there's the ceremonial tick. It's now officially done. Great job. Now then, in our brave new world of signing commands with TLS, we are definitely going to want a better way to configure our clients so that they work more smoothly with it. Because those really long ugly commands where we're sticking TLS flags onto the end each time we run them, they're not going to cut it for day-to-day ops. So, here on our designated client, we're going to do two things. First up, we're going to configure the client to send commands to Swarm over the network on port 3376. Now, we've talked about this a bunch already, and it's high time we finally did something about it. So, instead of sending commands to individual nodes in the cluster, we're now going to configure it so that we send them to a Swarm manager, and we let our manager be the point of contact for the entire cluster. Anyway, that's the first thing. The second thing we're going to do is fix it so that those TLS flags get automatically added to our commands. First up then, sending commands to a Swarm manager is as simple as setting the Docker host environment variable and then pointing it to, let's say, manager 1, and of course on 3376. If we remember, and I'm sure we do, but all of our managers are proxying commands that come in on 3376 to 2376 inside of their respective manager containers. Great. So that's commands automatically going to a Swarm manager instead of the local daemon. Dead easy. In fact, let's see. Right. See how this server part at the bottom here is actually failing? Hey, are we trying to send commands to a daemon process that's secured with TLS? Yeah, we absolutely are. Well, better send it some signed commands then. So, to do that, or to automatically sign our commands with TLS, we need to set two environment variables this time. And of course, these can be set within our bash profiles or the equivalent for whatever shell you're using, yeah? But we'll just do it here live on the command line. So the first one, docker TLS verify, this needs setting to 1. This is the one that tells the client to use TLS for verification or authentication, yeah? The next one, docker cert path, tells it where to find its own keys. Now for us, that was home, Ubuntu, and then the Docker hidden folder. And don't forget the dot before Docker there if you're following along, right? We did put them in a hidden directory. And remember, way back, right, when we were copying the keys from the CA over to each node, we renamed the files as part of the copy. Remember, we renamed them to these here, ca.pem, key.pem, and cert.pem. Well, this here is why we did it, right? Because setting this here environment variable, that's great. But Docker is expecting each key to be called by those three names. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. Anyway, let's try that Docker version again. Lovely. And see the bottom half, right? That's Swarm info rather than the local daemon, so we know it's gone to Swarm. Let's see a Docker info as well. Yeah, okay, there we go. Same again. Swarm version. And even the role of the server that we've hit. And then, look at that. As well, we can see we're using the spread strategy, remember that's the default, and then a bunch here about filters and the likes, which actually is where we're going to go next. But before we do that, let's just sign our last item off here. Great. But you know what? I really don't think this should be brushed over. This is a great achievement, okay? I don't know, we should probably have like a party and some ceremonial rounds being fired off. This really is good stuff what we've done here. But as well as being good, I am aware it's probably been a lot, so I reckon time for a quick recap before we go on to look at filters and the likes.